Tensions continue in the city of Minneapolis after the killings of 2 American citizens by federal agents. Yesterday, U.S. President Donald Trump walked back his conciliatory tone after outrage over the killings of 2 American citizens in Minneapolis by federal agents, branding one of them, Alex Preddy, an agitator. Footage shared online this week reportedly showed intensive care nurse Preddy in a scuffle with federal agents 11 days before he was shot dead on Saturday by officers enforcing an immigration crackdown. Activists and protesters are calling for a general strike today, calling on Americans to not spend money, not go to school or work. Joining us now is Associate Professor at Minnesota's College of Saint Benedict, Pedro dos Santos. Good morning, Pedro.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. Now, tell us what's the latest situation right now on the ground.
The people are undeterred. People are still going around and observing, legally observing what ICE is doing. People are still around donating food and sending it to food shelves, and food shelves are going out and giving the food for those needed. So people are more cautious, of course, and there has been reports of not more violence, but more threats from ICE agents. But people are undeterred. They're going to keep going to the streets until this occupation is over.
What have you been witnessing personally in the city with ICE's presence there?
So I live in St. Cloud, which is about an hour and a half from the cities, and we have a large Somali population here, and also a large immigrant community, broadly speaking, specific Latino people. And we see people who are on the ground, kind of seeing it and reporting to us, are seeing a lot of presence still. They're still here. They may change tactics once in a while, but they're still around. They're still sitting by bus stops for kids. They're still sitting by places where people are living. There haven't been any arrests, I think, this last couple of days, but they're still around. They're still here.
Activists are calling for Americans to take a stance against ICE by going on a general strike today. What is the expectation with that at this point?
But I hope there's some traction. It's tricky because since we just did our citywide strike, and it was pretty, for a short notice, it was pretty successful last week. I know for sure, like this week, many of the small businesses that made the tough decision to close last week in support, many of them are making decisions to stay open today because they're small businesses and they're really taking a hard hit on this. But there's a lot of support for any action, especially beyond Minnesota, that is more national, to show the support for, because what's happening in Minnesota is probably going to happen somewhere else next, and we need to all be prepared and be ready and be connected for that.
There are reports on social media right now that an independent journalist, Don Lemon, has been arrested for some of the actions that he did in Minnesota last week. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I read it real briefly that, but he's a journalist, so he claims to be investigating it. I believe him. He was there to report, not to protest. So it's a very dangerous precedent if that becomes a reality. But again, they also invaded the Ecuadorian consulate 2 days ago. So there's very little respect for the rule of law, and also just establishing informal rules that we have had for a long time.
Pedro, you're from Brazil. Are you worried for your own safety at this point?
I've been in the United States for 25 years. I've been a naturalized citizen for 15. The United States is, I'm married to an American. I have American kids, and I'm not necessarily worried for my safety at this point. But it is the draconian policies that continue to evolve straight from the Project 25 playbook. The next step is denaturalization, and that's where many of us need to start being worried about it. But I'm not concerned right now. It's something that definitely worries me as the progression of what we're seeing in the country.
Pedro, thank you so much for your time today, and stay safe.